Hi, William Owen here for a new Discord poll discussion. The concept is pretty simple. I have a Discord channel, there's a bunch of people there, and we're talking about games. Sometimes we're putting up a poll, and then we talk about what the poll is about. Today, it's all about video game crushes, so I'll start answering the thing, and then I'll read what people have said about it. So, if you had to marry the last video game character you played, who would it be? Well, I won't complain, it would be Annie from Wild Guns Reloaded. I'll put up an image here, let's say, I won't complain. If you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what world would it be? Well, it would be the Wild Guns Reloaded world, which is a Western cyberpunk place. I suppose, not the best place to be, but it looks pretty okay to me. Have you ever had a crush on a video game character? I mean, quite a few. I'll keep it to two. Yukiko Amagi from Persona 4. I'll put up an image. And Sam from Until Dawn. I really like how she was so dependable, and I think she looked great. But yeah, I have a bunch of video game crushes. It's very light crushes. I'm not like, I don't have any body pillows, if that can answer the question. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of character that I quite like. So, what was the first game you ever remember playing? It's pretty easy. I've talked about it quite a few times already. I have a video up. I'll put it in the description where I replayed the whole game and commented on it. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Fall of the Foot Clan on the original Game Boy. This is the first game I've ever played, and right after that I played Tetris, thought it was shit, and went back to TMNT. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of something so you could play a game? Actually, no. I have a big passion about games. I love video games, but I never missed work or pretended anything to play a video game. I love games, I really do, but real life first. Alright, now let's go and see what people have said about this. So first we have Old Man Gamer. It's kind of a poll for him because he's really into, video game crushes. So let's see what he has to say. If you had to marry the last video game character you played, who would it be? The detective character I created in Shadows of Doubt. Zeke Van Zandt. Zach Van Zandt? Anyway. If you have to live in the world of the last game you play, what world would it be? A procedurally generated dystopian noir city, so I probably wouldn't have to live there long. Very good. Have you ever had a crush on a video game character? Many. Most recently, Karlach from Baldur's Gate 3. I told my wife if Karlach was real, she'd be in trouble. She promptly called me an idiot. She is correct. What was the first game you ever remember playing? Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of something so you could play a game? When Fable 3 came out, I told my job my starter had broken on my car and I had to spend the day fixing it. It sucked that Fable 3 sucked, and I burned it on that. Yeah. I've heard middling things on Fable 3. Well, thanks a bunch for commenting, Zach. Looking forward to the next Old Man Gaming podcast, which will probably drop on Wednesday. You should all go and listen to that. It's a great podcast. I'll leave a link in the description. Alright, on to the next. Now we have Kaya Kitty Feathers saying, if you had to marry the last video game character you played, who would it be? Kaya Kitty Feathers. If you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what world would it be? Palia. A lot of people on the Discord are talking about Palia. Maybe I should try it out. But man, I have so many games to play. I don't know if I want to get into another live service game that will require a lot of my time. Have you ever had a crush on a video game character? Yes. Well, Kaya, the concept here would be you saying which one in particular. You know, leave it in the comment section. I'm curious about which character. I mean, if you don't want to say, you don't have to, of course. What was the first game you ever remember playing? This really ages me. It was Pong on an Atari. Yes, it does ages you. And to be honest, up until now, I feel we are pretty all old now. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of something so you could play a game? No. Alright. Well, thanks a bunch for commenting, Kaya. Always appreciated. On to the next. Now we have Jason, and he's a big commenter on the Old Man Gaming podcast. It's usually a lot of Jason comments and one of mine. And I'm quite happy that he's coming to my version of the fans' reaction. So let's see what he has to say. If you had to marry the last video game character you played, who would it be? Ashen Voodoo Pirate. If you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what world would it be? Sea of Thieves. Is Sea of Thieves the quadruple A Ubisoft game? Or am I talking about something else? Not talking, thinking. Anyway. Have you ever had a crush on a video game character? Yes, many. But David King is latest. I have no idea who that is. What was the first game you ever remember playing? Haunted House, Atari. Another older gaming person here. So Kaya, you're not the only one who's old. I am too, Zach is too, and now Jason. We're all old. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of something so you could play a game? Too many times. Alright. Well, we all have our problems, let me tell you. Thanks a bunch for commenting, Jason. Very appreciated. Hope you'll comment on the next one too. Now we have Shamrock Knox saying, Geralt from The Witcher is the latest, but I'm not gay, so before that would be Lara Croft in the 2016 reboot. Yeah, she was... I haven't played it, so I don't know about her personality, but she was quite hot, that's for sure. The world is... World live... there's a typo here. Anyway, the world where Shamrock Knox would have to live would be the world of the Pathfinder games. So, Video Game Crush, the latest version of Lara Croft. The first video game I remember playing, not counting DOS game, would be Wolfenstein 3D. And no to the last question. Yeah, you didn't skip work or any other obligations. Yeah, Wolfenstein 3D. You're not that young either, huh? I've played a bunch of Wolfenstein 3D. My cousin had a computer. I did not, and he had a computer, and we played Wolfenstein 3D quite a bit on his computer. That was that makes me reminisce of greater times. Alright, on to the next. Thanks for commenting. Alrighty, now we have Mike saying, if you had to marry the last video game character you played, who would it be? I forget which, but it's either a dwarf hunter, a dragon man who fishes a lot, or my kung fu robo gnome. Alrighty. If you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what would it be? Azeroth. WoW Trial gets you a lot of content. Oh, I didn't know you played WoW. That's interesting. How do you like it? Have you ever had a crush on a video game character? No, they're not real. Well, that's a very based take. I respect that. What was the first game you ever remember playing? Put me down for point 2. Another old person here. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of something so you could play a game? Nope. We're pretty reasonable right now. We have Jason. Jason is keeping some stuff to play games, and I can respect that too. But I know I don't. All right, thanks for commenting, Mike. On to the next. Okay, the last but not the least, Ishan saying, all about video game crushes. If you had to marry the last video game character you played, who would it be? Me, but in Villagers and Heroes. My last played game is VNH, so you've been dabbling back into VNH. I've been thinking about picking it back up. There's some new content that's coming, new story content, and I will admit that VNH lore is pretty good, and yeah, I'm interested to see it through. So, if you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what world would it be? Oh darn, Villagers and Heroes world. At least I have Malok to worship and people to sacrifice. Yeah, Villagers and Heroes is a pretty nice place to be in, honestly. I wouldn't mind, if I was one of those isekai manga or anime stuff person, I'm not too sure, but anyway, if I was reincarnated in another world and it was Villagers and Heroes, I wouldn't be too sad. It's a nice place to be. Have you ever had a crush on a video game character? Yes, a lot actually. Like Cynthia from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Not too sure who that is. I'm gonna go and put up a picture. What was the first video game you ever remember playing? Ooh, this one's hard. I don't know the name. It was a bug catching game that I played on Dad's laptop. By today's standard, it's trash, but I loved it. We caught bugs and put them for display in jars in that game. The game that I can remember the name that I've played first that I can think of is the Snake game on Mom's phone. So, alright, we have a younger person here, Smartphones were around when Ishan was young, I got my first smartphone, I was like, 24, 25 years old. So, yeah. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of something so you could play a game? Yes, back in school to play Pokemon. Yeah, that's not a big surprise. Pokemon was nice, man. I've played a lot of Pokemon games. I'm just not into them these days, but anyway. Thanks a lot for commenting, and that is all for today's Discord poll discussion. If you like this kind of video format, there's a bunch of other ones you can go and listen to. I think those videos are great to put in the background while you're, folding the laundry or doing a low-intensive job, at work, stuff like that. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed, and this is pretty much all I have for now. So, thanks a bunch for watching. Now, go do something else. Go play games. Bye-bye.